Hey everyone, Mr. Owlman8 here, with a What If segment. What if Kimberly was Zed's evil bride? Okay, so for context, in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 2, episode Beauty and the Beast, Kim was kidnapped by Goldar as part of Zed's plan to turn Kim into his evil bride, and was given magical dust to put Kim under Zed's control. But apparently it wasn't potent enough, and we get hilarious results. So what if the spell did work? What if it was strong enough to turn Kim evil? Well, the outcome would basically be the same, but for realsies and longer. So the real question is, how long would this go for? Well, I was expecting it to go longer, but it turns out this will be much shorter than anticipated. You see, right after Beauty and the Beast, we have the two-parter episode of White Light. And that two-parter would be a great opportunity to save Kim from Zed's influence, especially with Kim's White Knight returning to rescue her. With that in mind, let's explore how this plays out. So Billy would find the spot as to where Kimberly is, but because the spell worked, both Billy and Trini are now at odds with Kim. This could result in a fight, but given the outfit that Kim is in, the fighting prowess would be restrictive. Also, we don't know if the staff works, magic-wise, and if it did, how would she know how to use it? That said, I estimate that the conflict will result in Kim and the villains leaving. Now, given that Kimberly is supposed to not remember that she was a ranger, and Goldar would probably not likely give Kim her morpher, it's likely Trini could recover the morpher and Billy would still fight off Goldar. So, a consolation prize, if you will. Meanwhile, the monster of the week, Mirror Maniac, would still be at large both figuratively and literally. But because Kim is no longer around, she would not be able to pilot the Firebird Thunderzord. Of course, they could figure a way around that, but if they can't, the Red Dragon Thunderzord Warrior Mode should be able to take it down. Afterwards, the episode would end with the Rangers needing to figure out how to rescue Kim from Zed's evil clutches. As we cut to the next episode, the Rangers would try and get Kim back and find something to restore her memories. And let's be honest, this wouldn't be the first time that Kim had turned evil, so curing her would not be an issue. That said, given that Kim's memories of Tommy was the reason why she wasn't brainwashed by the weak spell, it would make sense to have something with Tommy in order to break a stronger version of the spell. So either Billy would figure it out, or Zordon would tell them. Because, wise giant floating head in a tube. But before we get to that, certain events have to be played out. Alpha and Zordon would have to leave in order to summon the White Ranger. Also, the Rangers might get word that Tommy is coming to town, but that would be downplayed, especially when we have our heroes trying to save Kim, Zordon and Alpha's disappearance, and the mysterious crater that was formed by Rita's dumpster. As for Rita returning, things would pretty much go the same way with Bulk and Skull trying to open the dumpster. Then add to the creation of Zed's heavy hitter, Nimrod the Scarlet Sentinel, and again, if they can't figure out how to form the Thunder Megazord without Kim, then things will get real dire. But even if they did, they still need the White Ranger for help. Now, would Billy find Alpha and Zordon building the White Ranger? Most likely. Anyway, as we get to the introduction of the White Ranger, he would need to swoop in to rescue Kim. Speaking of, some or any scenes with Zed involved may likely have Kim in it, and a lot more over-the-top antics would occur. Evil Kim could throw more tantrums at the goons, Zed possibly spoiling her, and if she becomes too much of a handful, this would lead to the villains returning Kim back to Earth to face the Rangers. Or in this case, the White Ranger. And even if she somehow becomes a bigger threat, well, come on. If anyone could get through to Evil Kim at this time of the series, at this point of their relationship with that particular spell, it's Tommy. And all he has to do is reveal his identity, and this should shock Kim and break the spell. An alternative playout would be that the villains find Evil Kim to be a handful and get her to fight the Rangers, only to get captured by them. Then all the Rangers are introduced to the White Ranger, and that will lead to breaking Evil Kim's spell. Then after that, pretty much everything would go as it originally was, with an add-on follow-up with Tommy and Kim. In conclusion, while the direction of Kim turning evil won't get very far, both episode-wise and villainy-wise, there will be more obstacles in the way. Things would also be more urgent and more odds stacked against the Rangers, with Tommy rescuing Kim as part of his debut as the White Ranger. And if the team and Zords are an issue, fighting the monsters would relatively be harder. As I said near the start of this video, Kim in this what if scenario would basically be played out like the original, but for realsies and longer. In this case, as long as 2 halves and a whole episode, with her evil spreading within 3 episodes in total. And that was the segment of What If Kimberly was Zed's Evil Bride.